love Alberta for so many reasons. Alberta is a place where anyone can come from around the world. And we put out the call to come to Alberta. You will be accepted. You will be able to find success. You will be able to find freedom. You'll be able to be an entrepreneur, start a business, hire people, raise your family. I feel like Alberta is one of the most unique places in the world because we do have such an amazing multicultural group of people who have built this province, and I think it's only going to continue. Mountains, always going up to the mountains, gorgeous. Driving on the roads, just in the back roads, looking at all of our incredible landscapes, whether it's forest or fields or rangelands with cattle, our incredible oil sands operations. It's just majestic to see the development in Fort Saskatchewan and look at the engineering that went behind that. It's amazing. When we have our beautiful river valley in Edmonton, that is the host of so many wonderful festivals like the Folk Festival, and Calgary. The iconic Calatrava Bridge. I wasn't so sure about it initially, but I see people from around the world coming and taking pictures, and I think that that has also done us well in marketing our communities abroad. I remember the first time I flew into Fort McMurray, seeing how amazing it was, the river system here. When you come in and you start seeing the new development and the recovery, this has been a community that has had so much hardship, but you'd never know it. It looks so resilient. And of course, there's just so much to experience in the backcountry. The fact that this is a growing community with incredible amenities, I think that's going to be a huge attraction. I decided to start my own small business with my husband a couple of years ago. We bought a restaurant, and it was a railway dining car, which required a ton of renovations. So I learned a whole lot through the process of getting all of the permits that I needed. And then just trying to build a business during COVID and the constant open, close, and shutdowns. And the amazing thing that I found is Albertans wanted to support a local business through all of that. So we've actually had a really good last couple of years, and the times that we've been open. I think what's happened is people are now traveling Alberta a bit more. They're trying to support local communities. I think that we want to make sure that that continues on, because I think that's something really positive when we can share our stories with each other. Anyone who says that we should shut down oil and natural gas, it's as dumb as saying we're going to shut down cement or we're going to shut down steel. There's 6,000 different products that come from it. If you look at bitumen in particular, one of the main products we make out of it is asphalt. So if you're going to have electric cars, they're going to need roads to drive on. And I think that we need to have a more realistic discussion about what the future of oil and natural gas look like, because it is here to stay. I was beginning to get a bit worried when I was looking at the division happening in the conservative movement, that if we split apart again, it takes a lot of effort to bring a conservative movement back together again. I've got some bruises from my own failed effort at trying to do that. But the fact that we had Brian Jean and Jason Kenney bring the parties together, the United Conservative Party is the right party, it's got the right people. We just had a little bit of problem with leadership in the last couple of years. And now we're going to be able to address that. And when we do, we are going to win another majority government. We have to. Because if Rachel Notley wins again, it's going to be a choice rather than an accident. And if she wins, she may end up getting 4 or 8 or 12 or 16 years. And then this place will never be the same again. We've got to preserve everything we have that makes Alberta such an incredible place to invest and work and live. I think what we've seen in the past is that we always think that when we elect conservatives at the federal level, all of our problems are solved. And I think we've now seen that when you have a change of government, it can be pretty hostile. So the federal government has been hostile to us. I think they violated the Constitution by again and again and again preventing us from getting our products to market and interfering in our ability to develop our products. We've had over $100 billion worth of resource projects that have been pulled or canceled because of federal uncertainty. We've got to create an environment of investors' certainty. And the only way we can do that is by pushing back on Ottawa, telling them to stay in their own lane. Resource development is our area of jurisdiction. And that's what the Alberta sovereignty is all about. It's about telling the federal government that we're going to go back to the original arrangement that we had in our Constitution, where they've got exclusive areas of jurisdiction in some areas, and we've got exclusive jurisdiction in ours, and we're going to defend it. We should stop expecting Ottawa to act on our behalf. They've demonstrated that they're not going to. We should send our own delegation to Germany and sign a 20 or 25-year contract and get our natural gas to market through the Gulf Coast. We should also then ask German companies, manufacturers, they're going to be facing high energy prices for a number of years, ask them to relocate some of their manufacturing and use Alberta as a staging area to get their products into the North American market. And then we should be working with our First Nations and Métis communities to be building economic corridors, going to Churchill, going to Thunder Bay, going to Tuktoyaktuk, going to Port of Prince Rupert. We don't have to keep on waiting for the federal government to do this. We've been asking for economic corridors for 100 years. I'm not prepared to wait another 100 years before we start seeing some of this activity. We have got ownership of the Crown land. We've got excellent relationships with their First Nations, many of whom are resource rich themselves and want to develop out these resources too. And we've got solid partnerships with our friends on either side of us in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. We've got a little bit more work to do in BC, but I think that we can make the case there as well, especially when it comes to exporting clean LNG. So we have to stop acting as if Ottawa has veto power over us. We have to stop acting like a subordinate level of government, and we've got to assert ourselves, just like Quebec. We've got to take care of ourselves. We have to choose a leader that will stand up to Ottawa and put Alberta first, that will make sure that we defeat Rachel Notley in the next election, and will restore our freedoms. And those are the things that I have identified as the most important things in this election. I've noticed that the other leadership candidates, they all have different ways of putting forward the similar ideas, and so I think that's positive, that autonomy is finally going to be something that we act on, but I think I'm the one that's going to be able to push back the hardest against Justin Trudeau. I can be reached on my website, daniellesmith.ca. You can also go onto my Twitter feed, AB Danielle Smith.